Hi, welcome to the Stockinette Zombies. I'm Amy, also known as J Nitma.
And I'm Megan, also known as Just Run It. And this is episode, I didn't write it down, 236.
Awesome.
Yes, it is the end of May.
Wow, when's the last time we re-recorded?
It was the end of April.
Sounds about right.
It feels like, to be honest with you, eons ago.
Yeah.
Like in another lifetime we podcasted, because so much has gone on between then and now.
For sure.
Yep. You went to Maryland Sheep and Wool.
I did. So my friend Karen and I, both KE, went to Maryland, spent our first day and day and a half in DC area. Got to see all the museums we could. There was one that was kind of like, oh, we want to see that one, the one with the first ladies' dresses, but there was like a busload of kids, it was multiple busloads of kids, just got out at the wrong time, because we'd been sitting there knitting, like relaxing and resting, like thinking, we'll just take a break and then we'll go in, and then boom, huge line. And I was like, and we just watched it happen while we were knitting. We're just like, and then we can't go in. Not without a huge wait.
Yeah.
Got to see the outside of the African American History Museum, which was new since the last time I was there in DC. The inside, I mean, it was by ticket only, and then there was like a kind of a place where they would put for walk-ups. And we missed out on the walk-ups by 8 people. So there were 8 people in front of us, and that's when they like said no more. I was like, oh, I'm so close. Because it was kind of a dreary day, and I don't know if it like kept the tourists away, because I didn't think we'd get that close to getting in, to be honest.
I think when Jeremy and I were in Hawaii, it was kind of like that with like the Pearl Harbor stuff. I think you had to kind of wait in line, and if it was a good day, then you could get in, and if it was a bad day, you were kind of turned away.
Yep, so this one missed it by that much, and so then we just turned and took another walk. We ended up at the Air and Space Museum, I think. Did some fun stuff there. I ended up getting a new backpack. It's there. and an umbrella, because it was raining the whole time we were there. We brought the rain. We got blamed. We got seriously, like, I got called out. It was all my fault for posting those sweaters and having everybody tell me that it was going to be warm, warm, warm. And that was, I was like, well, if anything, it's the people who were telling me it was going to be warm that brought the rain. Because
and then you brought the rain back. It's done nothing but raining.
Yeah. It's what it feels like. There was one really hot day, and then ever since, it just got... But, yeah, it was fun, and then made it to Maryland Sheep and Wool, saw a lot of my vendor friends, said hi to Marigold Jen, Hobbly Hoy. They were kind of soggy out in the field, but they had a tarp. Kind of felt like you were walking on pudding. It was pretty interesting, but a lot of people. And just
enjoyed yourself.
Yeah, walked around, got fair food. Nothing special, nothing like those cider donuts. They had a big plate of French fries that I was chips that I was very tempted by, but it was like a $9 plate of chips. And I'm traveling with Karen, so nobody's gonna share with me. It's not like I could buy the plate and say, here, have some. No, it would be all mine. And I just didn't feel like eating that much. Let's see. I don't know.
It's been a while.
Oh, we ate at a really nice Greek restaurant in DC. Amazing food. Had a gluten-free, friendly kitchen. So they knew exactly what to do. Everything was very precise and very serious about allergies. Super fancy. Like the best falafel, the best Brussels sprouts, the Brussels cauliflower. I mean, it was tapas kind of style.
Okay.
So we got to try all sorts of stuff. Their hummus had so much lemon in it, and it was really, really good. I don't know. And then their wine list had only Greek wines on it for the most part, unless it was a blend. But yeah, mostly Greek wines, so that was really interesting to see as well. Everybody raved about their desserts. I got the homemade ice cream with baklava pieces in it, which was very tasty, and that was very manageable. It was, you know, one scoop of ice cream. Their desserts were very big. I'm glad I stuck with my ice cream. I think I filled up on the really yummy breads and stuff. And they brought Karen sliced cucumbers. So like when, you know, like, oh, here we bring the bread to the table and here's your sliced cucumbers. And she had her own dish for dipping. So they had stuff that
they had it all.
Yeah. It was really good. That was probably one of the highlights as far as eating goes.
And did you say the name?
No, probably because I could not tell you.
Oh, okay.
Some Z, and it was right across from the National Portrait Gallery, I think. No, the Chi-Town art. I have no idea.
Okay, it's been a while.
I have no idea. It was very good. And I felt like we looked a little scrubby. You know, we were kind of in our touristy clothes walking in. It was
raining now.
Yeah, it was kind of like, oh, this is a fancy place. But we weren't the only ones, but it did seem like it was a little fancy. Yeah, got to see a lot of great art and museums, and hang out with my sister-in-law and her husband, and see DC. You know, just she hooked us up with our Metro cards because they have only the plastic ones now, and they cost like $10 just to get the card.
Yeah.
So she already had, you know, kind of a stack of them basically, and said, okay, here you go, you can fill them up. And they had some money on them to start with, but we did end up putting some money on them.
Yeah, I feel like people that don't have cars, when you come and visit them in big cities, like my brother did the same thing, right?
Yeah.
Because the Metro cards up in New York City, or you have to pay to get the card to fill it, right? And so he just had some, and he had preloaded a bunch of money on it so that we didn't have to stand around and try to buy it. And it's kind of like being the person that shows somebody around town with their car, right?
Yep, for sure. And we got to experience that too, because Sarah's husband drove us out to our hotel that was outside of DC in Columbia. I didn't get to do any CrossFit things, but I wasn't in the mood for it anyway. By the time I got there, I was like, we had walked like over 20,000 steps a day. It would have been insane to think that I needed more exercise.
Yeah. Yeah.
And actually, our less walking days were the ones we were at the festival, because that's just kind of slow shuffling through the marketplaces. We weren't trying to hoof it to a new museum or whatever, or get out of the rain. But yeah, it was exciting, and then came back and had a lot of rainy weather and lots of canceled soccer games and soccer practices because of thunderstorms. And
yes. Well, we were thankful with back in Minnesota, we were thankful that it wasn't raining here, because we were doing the photo shoot for the Minnesota 52 book. Yes. And I just quote Gail. She says her last name it rhymes with sugar, so it's Gail Zucker, not Zucker, but I say it Gail Zucker all the time. But she came. She did a fantastic job, and I find myself quoting her just like in normal life now. Gail says that if you can't control the weather, so if you worry about the weather, you're just worrying about something that you can't control, right? So why even worry about it? So, but we did. We had fantastic weather. If not, maybe it could have been a little more overcast. So our tech editor on the book is twin set Ellen Silva. And she was helping, she volunteered to be a photo assistant. And so there's these they're like, I don't know the exact dimensions, but they have to be at least like 6 foot by 6 foot squares. that you can either put like reflective stuff on to try to get more light if it's dark out, or like light canceling if it's like direct sunlight. And so I was the second tallest person other than the models, and so I got to help hold the other side of it because it's always very windy here in Rochester. We took pictures in Pine Island and Zimbrota at a farm and a park, and you'll see all the beautiful pictures once we can share them. Oh, I'm so proud of them. But it could take you. I mean, you didn't have another person anchoring it down. You would just fly off with it like Winnie the Pooh, I feel like. Yeah. And yes, it was just a phenomenal experience. We had some beautiful gals that were super talented. I think I posted on my Instagram, so I'm not spoiling anything. One of them could unicycle. Like, how awesome is it to be beautiful, be smart? She works at GE, and to be able to unicycle. Yeah. Our stylist Bethany was phenomenal, came up with these beautiful outfits that if I had seen them on the rack, I probably would have been like, but you put it on them and put the knitwear on them, and you were like, oh, so awesome. Mm-hmm. So super proud of it. Every time I look at the pictures, I wonder who knit and designed that, and then it like occurs to me that it was me, which is this is super. I don't know. It's a proud moment to be like surprised by your own things, I guess. Like
right, to see them perfectly styled and lit and photographed, and then just be
so
like,
professional.
oh wow, that's mine. Yeah.
Yep. And not like a glamour shot in the bunch, right? Like it was super like in the moment, and you don't feel like they were posing. And yes, like Gail just did a fantastic job. And it was a whirlwind because we scouted and then we shot for like 14 hours. And then the next day she had taken just like thousands and thousands of photos and then had to like subset them down for us to pick our ones that were like, yeah, it's a process. I feel like I've really learned a lot about making a book. It's like a book boot camp. I've been in a book boot camp. Mm. I now understand a lot of the work that goes into books, and they are an undertaking, let me tell you.
I
Little did we know photography would be the beginning of a journey. Yes, so yeah, book layout is super interesting and super hard to articulate exactly. You almost have to have like a creative vision and somebody gleam on and join you in that etherealness, right? Like it's like you don't want it to be too scrapbooky, and you want it, yeah. Anyway, all of that to say, my life has been all about the book, all about the retreat, all about work, and then coming home and trying to fit in soccer. And it's like my life heard me say, can my life get any busier? And it went, ha ha ha. So, yep, we had a birthday. Jeremy's birthday was smack dab in there that we celebrated. Yeah.
Mother's Day?
There's Mother's Day. I went up to for a quick visit to Shepherd's Harvest, and you'll see how quick it was. There was still lots of purchasing that went on. The Lark Toys people sent us home with tons of fudge because we were there at the end of the day, at the end of the weekend. Wow. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Jealous. They were like, do you like Butterfinger? I'm like, I don't know if we don't like Butterfinger. And it's like, gave me another slab. And yeah, they were trying to make it easier to transport and have like full sheets, I guess, going back. So yeah,
very nice.
Pro tip. But it was a little warm. It was a little melty.
Yeah,
it was,
the end of the weekend.
Yeah, it had gotten really warm.
Well, what did I want to say about that? They'll be at Thursdays on First for a retreat.
Oh,
they
cool.
almost always are.
And they're actually doing Thursdays on First, even though it's during Rochester Fest, right? I think that sign that I saw. Yep.
Because there was bands programmed for the different stages downtown for those days. So I would assume all of that goes with that is there. Mm-hmm. Not just a band on a stage without all the food and beverages and.
Oh, yeah. In the past, sometimes they've had it so that the Thursdays on First weren't during, because they didn't want to compete with the Rochester Fest, but now I think they've just kind of leaned in to it. Like, nope, we'll have both. Because the Rochester Fest stuff is often more fair-like, right? And the Thursdays on First is more like artisanal, restaurant-y.
Restaurant-y. Yeah. Like all the downtown restaurants have a booth that's on the street, as well as a few others that come in from different places. So
yeah. Well, yeah, I don't feel like I did the photo shoot and the whirlwind of this book justice, but suffice to say it was...
I think that our recording schedule has a lot of, like, we're very busy.
Yes, at the beginning. But I'm just saying it was a dream come true. Like, if you ever had the opportunity to work with Gail or take a class with Gail, like, she immediately... like, I felt at ease, and like she was a friend, right? Like she could say things, and it was, you know, she has a lot of not only photographic experience, but she's very good at commanding the set and bouncing ideas off of you and telling you tactfully that your idea may not have been the best one, you know? Like, she's a people person, and she really enjoys photography, and that is her craft, right?
Yep.
Like, where I might say knitting is my thing, right? Like, she is photography personified. So anyway, but yes, all of that to say, book has been busy, life has been busy.
So take a class with Gail Ziger.
Yes, take it, because she's phenomenal. She taught me so much in the short few days that I got to spend with her, that now I look at like my crappy photos and I'm like, oh.
Or the ones you thought were good.
Yes, exactly.
Like, no.
Well, and that, you know, I think that you take those things and you get better, right? Like, if I looked at photography that I took when I first started knitting versus now, yeah, there's a lot to be improved upon.
You know, but if it's going on Instagram, sometimes it just has to be on your floor at 10 at night with terrible lighting.
Yeah, a lot of my recent Instagram photos are on this carpet. I'm like, people probably think I don't even leave my home.
Right here on this piece of carpet.
And then that struck me, and then I took a picture at soccer practice. I'm like, see,
I left the house
with my knitting.
I'm not a hermit.
I'm not. I'm okay. And there's nothing wrong with that. It just, if I'm taking a picture on the same piece of carpet over and over again, what do you think about me? All right, we've got a little bit of administrati, just a little. We've got the April self-striping, KAL. I drew for that.
Yay.
That was 2 through 534.
Nice.
Yes, and I've got some poor handwriting going on here, but the winner was 458, so a fairly recent one. And that was Wapahoo, Rhonda. And she had a happy birthday yarn.
Okay.
And where did I set? It's right here. Yep. Friday Studios in the Lumberjacky colorway. So, so we're going to do our drawing for the Excuse Me Cowl. Thank you so very much for everybody that participated. We had 4 weeks or actually 8 weeks of the KAL, but 2 of them overlapped because we did it such that week 1 was the same as week 5, 2 was 6, 3, 7, 4, 8. So the Ravelry thread and the Instagram hashtags overlapped. So I did a mishmash of Ravelry and then tried to find you over, and Instagram, and then tried to find you over on Ravelry. And so I drew 3 for each of the pairings, which is week 1 and 5, 2 and 6, 3 and 7. You get the picture. If you are the first in your group to contact me and say, I want the yarn, then you get the yarn. And then the other 2 from Lina's Design get a needle minder, like a needle, like you stick your circular ends in, or your double points in it, and it snaps. And that's handmade in Sweden. So thank you so much to Lina's Designs for that. So we're able to have 1 of hers a week, so 2 per the grouping, and then 1 of the yarn. And so just so that things aren't too confusing, I'm just going to say like week 1 and 5, this is your yarn. Like you can either choose the cozy or this yarn. Like
okay.
You can't.
So let's hear what, like, or did I interrupt?
Am I being too administrative?
I don't know.
Explaining too much of the details. All right. Week 1 and 5, we have a beautiful timey-wimey from Yarn vs. Zombies. I don't know that Kiki is dying anymore, so that is a
rare
collectible.
gem, yeah.
A collectible. And that's for my stash. I think it would make a really nice skew replacement. All of these I think would make nice skew replacements. So the winners there were 84 Rain Bear, 40 Elizabeth with an X in it, Elizabeth, and 12 Mommy Jeans. And there was some very pretty yarn in that bunch. So if you PM or email me, timestamp will determine which one of you, if you want the yarn or if you want the needle minders. So that's week 1. And I will write Y versus Z.
Yep.
Week 2 and week 6 is Jacarandas Down Under. I knit the self-striping of this, I believe, with the expanding community. And this is a variegated, but I think it would look really pretty in a skew. So I'll put DVD here. And that was 2 through 80 out in the threads. And the winners were 25, 4, and 50. 25 is Alita Casey. 4 is Cottontail, and 50 is Deep Blue Renegade.
Neat name.
Yeah, I like it. And she was out on Instagram showing off those skews. I've seen some recent skew joiners, like, I've caught it. I've caught the virus. The skews virus. So yep, again, contact me if you want the yarn. Be the first. If not, you'll get a needle minder from Linus Designs. Thank you so much. Next up, we have Vesper for week 3 and 7 pairing, and that was 2 through 79. Winners were 60 Kristen S, 26 BRB Mom, and 41 Naughty Mommy.
Some mommies.
Nitty Mommy, not Naughty Mommy. Nitty Mommy. Yes, but 2 mommies, BRB Mom and Nitty Mommy, 41. Again, contact me and say if you want the yarn. Everybody's going to need to send me an address. Regardless of if you get the yarn or the needle minder, because these are all for you. And then this one is missing, I believe, a tag because it was like loosely. What is this one?
I have one that's very similar to that.
Yeah, is it like, it's not Twisted Limon, is it? Anyway, it's a very purple black combo. It's a merino nylon. If I remember it, I can let you know. I don't like things without tags, so I feel ya if you don't. So week 4 and 8, 2 through 78, we had 35, which was Ashless Phoenix, 46, which was Stat 1995, and 51, which was AK47. And I feel like Alicia was out there cheerleading in the threads a lot, and she knit some pretty cool sushi ones, so it was fun to see her number come up. So yes, contact me. I've got potentially 12 people contacting me. It will be a fun inbox day.
A very fun inbox day.
It will be a smile to boot. And yeah, that's the self-striping and the skew. Again, I thank everybody for joining us. It was a fantastic KAL. I felt like a lot of people took it on that maybe wouldn't have, because they had the crowd support. So.
And your instructions were really nice and impeccable. Like I feel like a lot of people went in with the comfort of seeing all of the extra direction that you provided for them.
I tried to stop and take pictures. Sometimes it's hard when you're really in the zone. In the skew zone.
But yeah.
Excellent.
So I think
FOs.
Yeah, we gotta.
You said you lost track.
Yeah, I honestly don't know if I finished anything else in the month besides the May DVD socks. I feel like I should have, because I did a lot of knitting, but I'm not quite sure what I did. Like, I started that sweater that I wanted to finish for Maryland Sheep and Wool, but I put that down before we had started podcasting the last time. Or, yeah, I did, because I had started the monster, so he's here. Doug, he traveled with me, but yeah, I don't really think that anything else got done. So sad. And I've stopped being very Ravelry conscious about my projects. Like sometimes they get started without a thread. Usually, I have been so good at that for so long, and then I fall off. So it's like, I don't know the last time I entered a pattern. So we have Doug. Doug is a Rebecca Danger monster, Petunia, I think, that I dressed up. Petunia. Yes. And I put some leg warmers and a little bracelet.
I think he was in various states last time. I don't know if he had all of his accessories, his knitted accessories.
But yep, he traveled with me the whole time. When I got the backpack, he was kind of peeking out the back the whole, a few people got some chuckles out of it, like, didn't know me from Adam, but were like, oh, that's so funny.
Yeah, they are fun to tag along.
Doug is having a good time. He really liked the museums and the non-nitty places, because he stood out more there. He was like, I like these non-nitty places. I feel special. So he took lots of selfies. I didn't post all of them, but he took lots of them. And then I finished my DVD. These are the llama in pajamas Zambari colorway. And I went with a near minimum. I put at least the 3 inches above the heel that is required, but I just felt like I've knit a lot of really long socks recently. I wanted to knit some shorties. But you can't have them too shorty and meet all the requirements for a DVD. But I feel like I have bigger feet than some people. What if a size 5 woman knits a 3-inch cuff? That's like knitting my child a sock. Anyway, I am
rules. There's rules, yo.
I am, if anything, but a stickler for the rules. These are adult socks with 3-inch, well, more than 3-inch cuffs. I believe they're closer to 4 or 5 inch, but probably 4.
Yeah,
anyway,
ruler out. They're authoritarian.
Well, so that is it for finished objects. I'm sure you have some.
I finish in the month. Well, I can't remember if it's in the month of May or just like leading up. I finished 2 sweaters, a cowl, a shawl, a pair of socks, actually 2 pair of socks, and several mittens and hats. But they are all for the book. So you may not see them yet. But when you do, they will have fantastic pictures. It will be the best finished object pictures you ever did see come from me. So that's that. But I did finish. I needed something that was not a sample knit and was not an obligation knit, and so I cast on with Knit Style yarns in the Goth Fairy. Yep, Goth Fairy colorway. The Nurmalintu.
Okay.
Nurmalintu. It is a name that comes from an old Finnish lullaby. Nuku Nuku Nurmalintu. The translation is sleep, sleep, little bird. So little bird. Little bird. It's a little bird. Absolutely love these colors, but the way that the pattern is written, this lace section is also garter. So on the purl back, what would normally be a purl back row, you do a knit row. Yeah. So specifically with this very variegated, I was like, I can't even see that there's lace there. It just looks like maybe I dropped some stitches accidentally. So I altered it. This has not been blocked, and you can see that it's still got the end on it. I just did purl back row on the lace section, and I really like how the lace looks. And the back side looks the exact same as if I hadn't, right? Like you can still see those purl bumps, and so yeah, I don't know. It didn't sing to me. And so
in the pictures, did they have more of a solid then?
It's with a pseudo solid from Madeline Tosh, I believe. Madeline Tosh in the filigree colorway, which is kind of a yellowy, greeny.
Okay. But not a solid.
It's a free pattern by Heidi Alander. And I really liked it. You just start out with the minimum of stitches down here, and then there's a bunch of garter, and then there's some lace. I need to block it yet, but I think it will, to be honest with you, I cast on a banner day. I was like, oh, I haven't knit a banner day in a while. I want to knit a banner day. And then I got, I don't know, maybe 30 rows into it, and I was like, something about this is feeling very familiar. This is very similar to the colorway that I knit it out, my original one out of for Marigold Jen. I think it was like Zombie Birthday Party or something.
Yeah, Deja Vu.
Yes, and I was like, well, obviously I think these very cool colorway fingering weight one skein wonders should all be banner days. So then I went out and did a free search or a favorited search on Ravelry and found this one.
Very nice.
And that is all the finished objects that I have to show, my friend.
Well,
I did finish a lot.
You totally outknit me, that's for sure. This month.
Well, because I had to. There was pictures to be taken. And yardages to be calculated. And what is that?
So this is a very architectural,
I was noticing.
with the bumpiness of it. Hopefully that comes across on the camera. It has ridges in it.
Ruffles have ridges.
Yeah. So this is the Boku Boku cowl, and it was on display in the lovely Neighborhood Fiber Studios, or company. It's company, not studio.
Yeah,
Neighborhood Fiber Company.
Yep,
in their booth. They had it in a really cool yellow, but I had already bought this yarn, Whiskey and Wine, from Knitty and Color.
Yep, Knitty and Color.
So I had already bought from them this Whiskey and Wine, so I went and found the steel yarn. It's got some steel base into it from Neighborhood that looked like it would go well with the color that I had already purchased.
Is it held double throughout?
Yep, okay. It's held double throughout, and so this pattern might give you some waves, but the peaks wouldn't be quite so pointy, because I did see some people who just knit it out of the sock yarn out on Ravelry, but the pattern is written to have this structured yarn held with it.
Okay.
And it reminds me of like the art museums I visited while I was out in DC. Plus it's with the two yarns that I bought at Maryland Sheep and Wool. So I am really happy knitting on this.
Memory.
Yeah, a memory cowl. And I don't know, it's just so interesting and different with the points.
I agree. I was looking at it and going like, I wonder what that is.
Yeah, so it's not, what do I want to say? It's not something that I would have thought of doing if I hadn't seen it in the booth. And when I saw it, I was, because I just kept looking through all of their stuff and going, I want to buy something here. I don't know what's compelling me, but I want to buy something here. And I saw, the helper extraordinaire had one of these around her neck in yellow, and it just went, that is really cool. And she showed me the pattern and how it was held double and where the yarn that you held with it was, and I was like, okay, cool. I have yarn that I have already purchased. I'm going to pair it with this, and then I'm going to have memories from both. So,
very cool.
Again, that's the Boko Boko. So BOKO. There's a dash between the two.
So nice they said it twice.
Yes, so nice they said it twice. Cowl. And again, very reminds me of the art museums, right? A little bit of like modern, artistic, just very cool. not normally what I would think of with yarn.
Three-dimensional.
Yes.
Bridging the, yes.
So my next thing is my Hohi Locatelli mystery shawl. So if you do not want to be spoiled, you're going to have to fast forward through this part. I don't know how long it's going to take me to show you, but I really didn't want to spoil you. So if you are knitting this or have plans to knit it as a mystery, please look away. I have clues 1 and 2 done. We will get clue 3 soonly. I think we get them on Friday. So this is half. And you have to knit both sides. So yeah, I don't quite have a long enough cable to stretch it out, but you can kind of see that it started out triangular, and then it straightened out on the corner. So now it's getting into that rectangular shape that was promised in the beginning. And it's called Starting Point as the name, right? So when are these two things going to become one? That's the big mystery for me right now. I keep looking at it and thinking, okay, how is she going to join these 2 points in the pattern? I chose to do the lacy bits, and as you can see so far, it's just eyelets. There's nothing terribly lacy. This is like V's here, and then eyelets. So if you were afraid of the lacy bits, it's not that lacy. It does give some interest to it, and I think to not do the lace, it's some stockinette and some ridges. So I don't know how they break down because I didn't do that piece. That was not my choose your own adventure. But I did read a little bit about the first one, and I think that it was some stockinette and some ridges in that space where I put these eyelets. So so far I'm liking how my colors are playing together. I didn't rip back or change them. That's what I chose. When I saw the order, I read her directions on which ones to put where. So it said, like, your lightest one is color 1, your darkest one is color 4, and then she told you where the other ones fit and how the highly variegated one should be here or there. I had 2 that were variegated, but one that was more variegated than the other. So that's just how I decided to lay them out, but very much going on her guidance in the pattern. But yeah, that is the mystery shawl, clues 1 and 2. So very clue cool. 1 brought you to this part right here, and then clue 2 was all of this. And again, you have to do it twice. So I'm not quite done with my second clue. Getting pretty close. Yeah, I'm on the last color. So just 10 more rows. I should be able to get that done in time for me to want to start the next clue.
Very cool.
And I don't know if I'm going to be able to stick with it, because as soon as June 1st comes around, my intentions will be starting a new sock for my DVD knit along. Again, like, I think if I get to 6, I get a skein of yarn. Woohoo! I've made it through 5, so gosh darn it, I'm gonna make it through 6. Just to get that skein of yarn, and then the additional % off from her shop. But you can see I already, in enabling, I already used one of my % off coupons and got a lot of yarn. So maybe the coupon won't be quite as much of a draw this time around. Just little prizes. I did notice that the Instagram prizes, she told us what each of them would be. So now I've seen an explosion of Instagram posts because people are trying to get to those specific numbers to get the prizes that go with that number.
It must be enticing.
Yeah. Well, I'm just trying to get to them naturally because I'm already at 22 and that feels like a lot. But there was somebody the other day that I just happened on their picture, and you put in parentheses which picture number it was, and it was in the high 40s. And I'm like, wow, she's doubled what I've done.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there are people even higher than that. But that's all I had that is active whips. Everything else got put aside. I was working on the Close to You shawl. I was working on sweaters, lots of different sweaters. All of that stuff got put aside. I did do some spinning recently, picked that up again. Took off some stuff off of a spindle, very satisfying, and started up the next ounce that goes on it. So, and did that on that really hot weekend. So then when the weather got cold again, I went back to knitting. Like knitting, cozy couch. Don't want to stand up and spin. I just want to sit here on the couch and curl up.
Use it as a blanket.
Yeah, exactly. So that's all I had. You have
I have socks. Yep. So I went to cast on this and decided that with kind of the pseudo striping and some of these colors, I wanted to do an expanding community, which I hadn't done in a while, but I wanted to mix things up. So this actually, the spine is just a pattern repeat, so 4 stitches further to the, closer to the beginning of the round on this one. And then I'm a sucker for asymmetry, but balanced asymmetry. So I've got the other one, I did it for stitches further away from the beginning of the round. And so they line up, and then just for fun, you could see while I was doing it here, I have, instead of it expanding and then stopping at the edges, once it got to the leg, it's now expanding to the back of the leg. So just a kind of a variation on the theme, you know, something interesting to keep me knitting, but familiar. Same but different. And this is Diabolical's Corriedale base, sock base.
I thought it looked like a different base.
Yes, it looks a little fuzzy when you photograph it, but it really wears nicely, and it feels really nice too. This is the Thunder Boom colorway. Thunder Boom. So I cast it on a Thunder Boomy weekend. We've had a lot of those.
Yeah. I have one of her skeins in my cart right now. I have not pulled the trigger.
Is it at diabolical.com or is it on her Etsy shop?
It's on the Etsy shop.
Okay. I think I can't remember. I had to pick and choose which site I was going to go on because I had a sprinkling of ones that I wanted when I did my big order. And that is all that's fit to be shown. Okay. I've got sweater plans. I've got them, but they just haven't been cast on.
These are ones you can show though?
I think so. Okay. I think I'm allowed to show the ones that the patterns that I buy. Okay. Let's just check. Everything's felt so secret for so long.
I know, that's why I asked.
Yes. And then I went to Shepherd's Harvest. It was really warm that weekend. The previous year, Shepherd's Harvest, they had been standing on cold concrete, and I think we were all praying for a nice breeze on that kind of stifling Sunday afternoon here in Minnesota, and it hasn't been warm since. I think us all simultaneously wishing that it was cooler. Jinxed us. Yeah. Jinxed us. So yeah, I was a complete yarn pig. In fact, I don't even remember everything that I bought because it was just yes. It's like I have my own little personal shopper. But I wanted to mention I got in the mail what I talked about last time. My lavender
crinkle.
Yes, my lavender loon. This is poolside martini in her fingering weight. 25 nylon, 75 merino. Very Megan colors. And then I ordered her Orphan Black Sestras. The Sestras. Elena, Sarah, Allison, Cosima, MK, and Clone Club.
The Clone Club's this, right? Because that's the pink phone. Sarah's got that dark color. Okay.
I think Helena isn't quite psycho enough. She's kind of got a pink streak and yellow, but
she's got the blonde hair, I guess,
yes.
and maybe some murdery blood in there.
Maybe. I don't think that was I'm not spoiling anything, hopefully. I think she's got that out in the,
oh, okay.
Out in the, I hope I'm not spoiling anything. I feel so oblivious. But yes, I love the Clone Club.
Yeah, that's really pretty. Yes. I actually like Sarah's too. It's very interesting. Although my favorite characters are not Sarah.
Yeah. I think Cosima, I really like Allison in the show. She's very...
Allison's a hoot. She is my favorite, actually. Just when you put other characters around Allison, that's the fun of the show, right? And you can get, I love Helena, but you get Helena and Sarah off on their own, and it's dark.
Yeah.
It's dark. And Cosima is a little sad, right? It's, they have the romance, but it's a little sad. So, I don't know, just Allison and her, going for, I'm a drug dealer and I'm running for school council.
I'm going to be the president of the... Yeah. Yes, I thought that was a fun little kit. And then,
I'm way behind on Orphan Black. I don't even know what's going on in there.
I know. I think they have a new season, and I haven't seen any of that.
Yeah, well, I think I'm one season behind that, though. I'm really...
Oh, I know what happened at the end of last season. Okay. That was memorable.
Okay, well then I probably didn't see it then. I did that with The Magicians to somebody. They had only seen it on Netflix, and I had seen one more whole season than they had. And I said, oh, wasn't it crazy on the end of the season when blah, blah, blah? And they looked at me like I had 3 heads because they had only watched the Netflix, which is only the first season.
I see.
And they're like, oh, no, sorry.
I had a lot of my designs in mind that are in the book when I bought some of this stuff, so I can't share with you my true intentions currently. But I really loved this Coquette sock. It's, again, a Corriedale nylon, and it's Soot Sprites Love Rainbows. And it's from Bumblebee Acres Fiber Farm. And I really loved this rainbow kind of dark speckle-tastic skein, and the Corriedale just called to me. I don't even know that I had cast on my Corriedale Expanding Communities when I bought it, but I really do enjoy a good Corriedale. Good Corriedale, Winsleydale. I saw Jean, who's going to be at our retreat market.
That's really cool.
This is Two Guys Yarn Company, Tweedy Toes, which is BFL, Superwash 85, and 15% Donegal Nup. And so I stood there and I looked at, he's got a beautiful wall of just all kinds of different colors. And I hemmed and hawed, and I picked this one up, and I picked up another one, and finally I settled on hot pants. And I walked up, and Jean goes, "You're going after that one again, huh?" And I'm like, "Again?" And he's like, "Yeah, you bought that last year, and then you knit it up, and then you showed it to me at Stitches Midwest, and you finished those socks." And I was like, "No, that was kind of an orange. I don't think it's this color."
It was pink, but
I picked up the same exact skein and was trying to buy it again, and Jean saved me from myself. That's some customer service there. So I went and picked up the one that I picked up first, which was Walk Along the Sun, which is very cool. Kind of reminds me a little bit, if it were a little darker orange, it would be kind of like Hawkeye's colors.
Not orange.
Not orange. A little more gold.
I'm not sure what color you were going for, but that's not orange.
The Hawkeyes are gold and black.
Yes.
Sorry.
Gotcha.
It is now officially late. We were way too talkative before we and then I stopped by the All Things Herbal, and Miss Amber, Yarn Hoarder, was with us.
I still have all of this stuff.
Okay. And she said that her family lives by this stuff. So it's good for repelling mosquitoes, black flies, and is not harmful to the environment. And it's like a lotion, so it keeps biting insects away. Okay. And then I also got a pumice.
Oh,
soap.
yes. Those
for
are good.
my working man. And this one is spearmint and fresh lemon. Yeah, I liked it. I was like, you're allowed to smell like that, husband. Then I went to Little Buku Bonkers at the Black Cat Fibers.
Ooh, that's Buku Bonkers.
That's not too bad. I feel like it was Little Bonkers. I don't need any more fingering weight skeins of yarn, okay?
Okay.
This is Drop Dead. It was calling to me. These blues and purples were just singing the siren song. And then this was literally the first skein of yarn I looked at when we walked in at like the first barn we went into, and I was like, oh, Ellie, look at this. And then I went back. So this is sour sop. And that's my green. And then there's black speckles in there. Black Cat Fibers. And this is for one of the projects that is in the book that can utilize mini skeins, and these colors were just singing to me. Specifically these over-dyed, like darker, almost iridescent-y colors. But I thought this would be a fun combo as well, that they had little mini skeins. And throw in a speckle just for good measure. And then I stopped by the Sun Valley Fibers booth, and they sent us home a lot of ZK prizes. So thank you very much to Jeanette and George. And then I got some BFL. BFL is a yarn. The BFL DK is a yarn that is called out for in the book. Spoiler alert. And I got some Bazinga Blue and Royalty. So I may or may not be knitting a project from the book in that. I really liked the blue and the blue. And then there was a new edition there that was selling stickers.
Oh, okay.
This is Drama Llama. She also has like you can take a photo of yourself, or no, it's emojis. It's an emoji app. So you got a burping llama. You've got I Love Big Buns llama. You've got Rosie the Riveter llama. You've got a jaguar. And you could pick out 3 for free. And so Ellie and I were just picking and picking and picking, and she was like, okay. And I was like, well, how much do I owe you? Because I'm picking out more, a coffee llama, than the 3 a piece, so that I can actually give you some money, right? And she's like, oh, no, just take them. And I'm like, seriously? So then I got the rainbow llama, because that one was going to actually pay for one. And then I made her let me pay for some of the little guys. So Drama Llama, she said it was her senior project in business school or something, and her teacher said, I think you're onto something here. You should go out to like fiber festivals. And if you follow her on Instagram, she's got an app and tons of followers, and yeah, it's a thing.
It's a thing.
So yeah, that was the Megan
whirlwind of purchasing. Well, you might have spent just as much as I did
at Shepherd Harvest.
Except that I bought some artwork that kind of probably put me over the top.
But I think we're having a competition on who can spend the most money.
But I mean, for little old Shepherd Harvest, it looks like you got quite the haul there.
Well, it did start to feel like a lot at the end, especially with, spoiler alert, the Yarn Buddy in one from Sun Valley Fibers. I was like,
well, since we're doing a little bit of a spoiler, this cowl, when I asked Neighborhood Fiber Company in an email and had said I was knitting on this, did send us a kit for the retreat to give away, plus 4 other kits that are for DK things. Yeah, super generous. And yeah, wonderful, wonderful. We're still getting prizes rolling in, and I get to open that fun mail every day. I got to open Daisy Knit's prize donations today, so that was fun.
I'm walking on sunshine. Wow.
So,
but then she has to go enter it into a spreadsheet.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, it's fun, and then I have to go do work.
It's like kids. They're fun, and then they're work.
Yeah, so I had already talked about those 2 purchases.
Yeah.
So I will put those down so I can talk about the rest. My first purchase was at Jill Draper Makes Stuff.
She makes great stuff.
She does. So I bought the Mohonk Light and Dark Roast and Clear Skies.
That's a great name.
Yeah.
That's a great combo.
Yeah. So these dark roast and clear skies, I was like, well, I have no idea what I'm going to do with this, but I did think about one of your patterns in the book.
What weight is it?
It's a fingering.
That will work.
It's a lot of yards, though, you know, like.
One of them takes a lot of yards.
Okay.
Yo.
So yeah, they're bigger skeins, so it's 550 yards each. But since they're rustic, they're very lightweight. They're not quite
bouncy.
Yes, they're very bouncy.
Bouncy.
And I really like them a lot.
It's a great combo, Amy.
Yes.
I know that you've got the color sense, but that's a great combo. Never hurts to hear it every once in a while, right?
Right. So I'll talk about some fiber next. I ended up at Fiber Optics, but I felt like this part of the day was very rushed. This was after we had gone to a podcaster meetup and met some very lovely folks. I had some gifting clues from those folks. So this
me?
Yeah, this is from Pin Hook and Needles.
Awesome. It's tea time. A teapot tape measure.
So thanks to them for that. And then I got some other little stuff.
So cool.
From, let's see.
Hook and needle in Woman Cave.
Here. And then there was the Flame and Fiber podcast. She gave me this adorable little stitch marker. This blue one is for you.
Oh, thank you.
And I got a red one. And then, of course, Jennifer was there with her lovely self, Down Cellar Studio, and gave me a pattern. The intro price. So it's an introduction for their new pattern.
Yeah. Jennifer Lasonde.
Yes.
In
so
the
Boston Jen.
Yep. Emmeline
May shawl.
May shawl.
And thanks to them. And that came with this little mini skein. So I'll be happy to put that into my little blankie.
Very cool. Thank you for the goodies.
And then, so Fiber Optics was after all of that. So it felt like, oh my gosh, that's a beautiful color. What base is it? I need it. So this is Once in a Lifetime Jeff. So Jeff must have dyed it. And I just love all these colors together. Like this gray with the blue and the green. Red, they just all play so nicely together.
Kind of has a retro feel, maybe?
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, a little bit retro, 70s vibe.
Yeah.
And this is silk and Polworth and mohair. So, you know, it wasn't like my first choice in blends, but I have not spun with a lot of mohair, so.
Mohair is goat, yo.
And the color.
Cashmere's goat.
Yeah. It's different.
It is different. Just like knitters.
Yeah.
We're all different.
So that was a fiber. I couldn't not buy something from Hobbledehoy. I wasn't sure if they would transport something this lovely to our retreat. It's nice and squishy and big, and I don't know if they had these there in previous years. These 3 bats. Super fun. This is a lunar eclipse bat. It's got wool, bamboo, sparkle, silk, 4 ounces. I thought it would look really good mixed in with something that I'm already spinning. I mean, not spinning, weaving. So if I run out of hand spun to go into that woven shawl, I could spin this up and get it in there. Or at least that was my thinking. I need this, quote unquote.
That's what you do.
Yeah, justify a lot of things. So then, Nitty and Color, loved their booth. I loved their color sense. It was very vibrant. I think that Whiskey and Wine was the most tame color they had. And they had a lot of ones that were mostly the same color, like, you know, you got some that's mostly bluesy, greensies, and ones that are purpley, reddies, but I had to pick up the ones that are all rainbow-tastic. So this one's called Supernova. And it's speckles, and it's super bright. A lot of fun. But I am knitting with the Whiskey and Wine, and I do appreciate that more subtle
That would be a nice boku or whatever too.
Yeah, that's true. I was
It would
just
be
going
very
for
bright.
more
You might
subtle.
see like the points like popping in a certain color. Right?
That's true. You could. And then they had fiber too, and I was at a fiber festival, and I had not bought much fiber to this point, so I thought I need to buy another thing of fiber. So this was Targi, and 4 ounces in the Sleepy Hollow, so very fall color, but I just really liked all the orange and black of this braid, and I figured by the time I got around to spinning
It looks like it's on fire.
It does.
Fuego.
Yes. Very, yeah. The head, the pumpkin head in flames. Yeah.
You could throw
Very
that in.
And again, I tried to get things that were a little bit more unique. So this one, you know, with hobbledehoy, it's bats, right? Like that's what I wanted to buy. I didn't want to buy a braid or anything. So it wasn't necessarily the color that was unique or the blend that was unique. It was that it was a bat. But this I bought because it was Targi. Yep. Well, and the color.
Let me some Targi.
Obviously. Okay. So,
Are we going to get
from that
smothered
note,
in a pile of
we might. We might. So on that note, I got Tiger Targi, which is from Blue Moon Fiber Arts. So it's Blue Moon Targi in their
very
spin
tight
base.
spin, huh?
So yeah, and
Tight
so
twist.
that will segue into what I got for you. So
I get Targi. Oh,
you gotta read the color.
alphabeta.
Yes.
Alphaba. No.
Alphaba.
Yeah.
Alphaba.
Alphaba.
Right.
Yes.
So
Very beautiful. From Wicked.
yeah,
Right.
and mine is Lansu. It's got a
Green
little
and
bit,
gray.
little bit more blues in it, but that's a Grello.
Well, thank
I mean,
you.
not Grello. Gray green.
Okay, good. That's kind of a Grello.
Mm.
Not by conventional terms. It could be a Granello.
Okay.
But then you can get the N in there. Thank
So-
you so much. I'm interested to knit with it. It seems like it's got a tight twist.
And in the same vein, I want to talk about the artist that I bought. So I have Claire Margaret, and she does paper cutting. This is a card with the paper cutting of 2 sheep under a tree, and that's for you.
Oh, well, thank you.
And then this is one of that's more artsy, where you can see the laser cutting. So this was laser and hand cut, and this one is for my mom.
Beautiful. I love those trees.
And then I bought a small one that was all hand cut. It's very similar to this one for my shelf at home. But
Cool.
yeah, those are just prints of the cutting.
Got it.
But when you get to the cutting, it gets a little
Very
bit more spendy.
No, I get it.
But this one is for my mom. It's a sheep. It'll go in her new room that she's been creating, her shop room, her classroom.
Yeah,
I really
bringing
like
back
this, so
those
cute.
pieces of art are tricky sometimes when you're traveling.
Yeah, they made it. They survived.
Well, thank you so very much. I sense a theme, kind of Melly-esque.
That just went behind your couch.
Okay. We'll
And
have to remember that.
then there's more art. So this is Kelsey Wales or Wales. This is the Gallifrey Crumb Tinies. So it's all themed on Doctor Who. I bought this for my friend Sarah. So super fun artwork, very interesting. I showed the cover to her and she thought it was really cool. But it's an alphabet book with, so it's kind of like a kid's book. And she had a bunch of other kids' books. And I started following her on Instagram, and I am in love with her feed. She rescues frogs and turtles and does a lot of artsy-fartsy things. And she's also a teacher of art at a school. So I believe, let me see, illustrator, teacher, yes. So definitely a fun person to meet. I really enjoyed it. She actually signed this book for my friend. And I'm excited, but I also she does sculptures as well. She calls these ugly Pokemon. That one's for you.
Oh! So I get like a ugly an ugly. What is he? Maybe the
I thought he was
Charmander.
Yeah. Okay.
I agree. Maybe she calls them ugly Pokemon because she's not allowed to literally make the Pokemon.
I guess. I mean, the I can show you a picture later, but I honestly had gotten you your favorite Pokemon, but the kids claimed it.
Oh.
And I didn't have the heart to take it back.
Okay. I like Charmanders too.
Okay. Yeah, because, I mean, orange is not your color. I would have bought you a green one, but the green one got stolen by the kids.
It's okay. They'll probably get more use out of it.
It's true.
Thank you so very much. An embarrassment of riches, of gifts. Super cute.
And then I had one more piece of art. So I stopped by Going Gnome. So they're goinggnome.com. And I bought some felted things. Where's
some creatures?
Creatures. So I fell in love with this little gnome lady.
She's cute. She is cute.
And this brown sheep.
Very cute.
So, just feeling how somebody who does a good job does things, I actually...
Looks like real hair.
Yeah. I was really impressed, and I'm like, there's no way I could do this. She was selling kits where you could do them yourself, and then the animal itself. And I was like, well, I don't know. I felt more like buying art that day. So I was just buying a bunch of little pieces of art everywhere I went.
Art.
Yeah. And then I got you a little pea vegetable. He's a pea.
Pea, be happy. So cute.
He might have to go to work or something because it looks like a cat toy to me.
Could find it. Yeah, him and the Charmander could live at my desk at work.
For sure.
Yes.
And then I saw somebody was selling Pom Pom, and this is their 2017 magazine. Spring 2017. I flipped through it really quick. I don't own a Pom Pom magazine yet, and so, once you get into that spending mood, it's like I didn't need to buy it that day, then and there, but I did.
A few things you flipped by looked pretty.
Yeah, no, super cute stuff. There's a few of them that I was like, definitely some worthwhile pieces. Yeah, exactly. In spring, so it's very strange to me. But maybe you knit for the fall in the spring.
Yeah.
But yeah,
are they based out of somewhere where it?
I thought it was just the UK. It's in pounds.
Okay.
I didn't think it was a different hemisphere, but maybe.
I was just trying to fill in a story.
Okay. Anyway. I think Into the World. So Into the World, I got this really cool, it reminded me of my cat.
Renardine?
It's their resist dye sock. And they had so many to look at and choose from, and I really had a hard time deciding. So it just came down to like, I don't really have a whole lot in this color palette. And it reminds me of my cat.
Yep.
Who is like a torty calico cat. And a lot of people say, oh, that's a calico cat. And it's like, yeah, but there are some calicos that are a lot of white. And that's what I think of when I think calico cat. My cat looks like mostly tortoiseshell with calico hands, chest, and strips. So that's what I think of for that.
Yeah, Into the World, when I've been in their booth at Rhinebeck, it's always very like, oh, but I like this one. Oh, but I like this one. Oh, that's a different dye treatment. Oh, it's the same component colors, but they dyed it up differently. Yeah. And then the DVD.
Yes, and I met a lot of podcasters at that event. And the funny thing was we were in a building where it was very roomy and spacious. There weren't very many people in there, and it was warm. It was cold and rainy outside. So it seemed weird that we weren't bombarded with a lot of people. Mm-hmm. And people would go and they'd shop and they'd come back and they're like, there's people huddling outside for warmth. They must not know that this place exists. But I'm not going to tell them.
Then it'll get crowded.
Then it'll get crowded and loud. So DVD had the coupon, so I bought 5 skeins. I bought one that is not self-striping. Those are cheaper in her shop, so that doesn't feel as big of a purchase there. But I did the If They Kill, I don't know how to say that. Michonne? I don't watch the show. My husband does. If They Kill Daryl. Yeah, I know. I just admitted like something terrible.
I don't watch it either.
Okay. And then Somebody Needs a Cocktail. And then Cinder Zombie. So Cinder Zombie is part of the new Princess colorways that she's doing. And I bought the girly ones in sparkle. And this, with this, I should be able to make it to the end of the year. If I choose to.
Throw it down.
Yeah. I might not make it though. I do find that a lot of other things suffer. Because I'll make it through that first sock pretty easily. And I'll get to the second sock about this far in. And then I just kind of lose steam. So I put it down for about a week. And then I come back to it and I'm like, well, I really got to finish this. And then it kind of feels like a chore, like a daily chore. Like, let me get a couple stripes put on this. Let me get a couple stripes put on this. Let me get a... And then finally when I turn the heel, it's like, come on, get this done. And then it's usually a day or two.
That was Saturday in my 52 socks in a year. Like, I gotta get this pair done so I can cast on the next one and stay. Yep.
Yeah, but you're nuts, because that's crazy.
It was pretty crazy, but I feel ya, right? Like, at first it seems like, oh, this is totally doable, and then by the time you're like, well, finish this one, and then I gotta cast on the next one, because time just keeps going by.
Well, and for those of you still hanging in there on the Persian Dreams KL, I am behind, again, because of the DVD thing, and just stuff. Right? Like, I feel like, oh, I wanted it on this cowl, and then the Hohi thing, I wanted 5 skeins pulled out of my stash, right? Because that was exciting to pull 5 skeins out of my stash. I have another shawl that's 5 skeins that I have cast on, but I haven't gotten to. And yeah, there's just too many projects right now. It's overwhelming. So then the things that I end up working on are the things I love, you know, like the current things that I am in love with, I guess. And then the one
it should be.
Yeah, right. It should be. But I need to fall back in love with color work, and I'm not sure when it will happen. But
I'm always
Scout's Honor.
I'm always madly in love with that.
Scout's Honor, I do want to finish that by the end of the year. So if I have to get my button gear and knit one hex right after another, I know I can do it. I know I can do it.
She can.
I can do one a weekend, no problem. If my love can sustain that.
It's like the opposite of addiction, right? That where you say you can quit at any time. You're like, I can kick it in at any time. Like, I could totally get back on track if I wanted to.
Yeah, exactly.
I just don't want to right now.
That's true. It's been a problem. Like with any addiction, right? Yeah.
All right. Do we want to go into ZK now that we've lost everybody because we've been talking for so long and the video is so grainy because we've been talking for so long?
Yeah, sure. There's been a lot of happening.
There is.
Let you go first. Though.
Yeah, the KAL is and going like bonkers. Amy's got a halftime FTE towards keeping up with the KAL yardages.
There are at least 100 messages I haven't looked at. Assuming most of those are chatter. Please?
Nope, it's all finished up. All finished up.
Shoot.
I have the wonderful class teachers that have volunteered to teach a course that has been scheduled, and I'm waiting on one holdout before I communicate that to the world. And then signups will be next Friday, which I believe is June the 2nd. Is that right? Let's look.
Time, I do not know.
Yeah. I know that Memorial Day is this weekend. That's also very important, right? No, it wouldn't be June 2nd. Oh, yeah, it would be.
Yay.
Yes. Yay for Megan knowing space and time. So yeah, this Friday, yeah, my watch turned over to it being Thursday the 25th, which is why I'm confused. It's past midnight, you know, what do? You podcast. That's what you do. So yes, and those will be threads out in the forums, and that's super exciting. Thank you to everybody that has sent prizes, and if you have not, please contact us and let us know if you'd be interested in donating. We always enjoy giving away everybody's generous goods, and then everybody takes them back to their hometowns and shows their knitting groups all the awesome stuff that they got, and it's a really good way to spread the word about your product.
Yes, thank you to everybody who's donated so far. The numbers might not wow you, but I feel like everybody's been very generous. You know, whether it's giving us a sweater kit from Copper Corgi, or yeah, just so much.
Big ticket items.
Yeah, a little bit bigger items. And Zula Fibers gave us some stuff, very nice, pretty stuff.
I like their stuff.
And some generous things have been promised and are on their way to us.
Woot woot.
Swiftly, I hope. Lots of goodie bag offers as well. So coupon codes and little things that you can take home.
It's beginning to look a lot like ZK in my house. I've got lots of packages arriving with goodies for folks, which is super exciting. Yeah. And we've been working with the hotel to have a fabulous event. Some surprises and goodies there. Yeah, a lot going on. And love all of the excitement and chatter out on the boards. Makes me happy and excited that June is soon. It's not soon, it's here.
And it's not here yet. Yet? No, it's not. There's more time. We haven't even had Memorial Day yet.
At the rate at which time has been flying, I'm going to open my eyes and it will be ZK.
Retreaters. I did not talk about my mom's bag. So I was out on...
it's full of stuff. I can't even put it on my head, Amy. Come on.
Just whips. Okay.
It's like a Rastafarian bag. It's like I could like...
Amon. Oh yeah. You gotta tighten the...
Oh, no. It's losing stability. Okay. Just keep talking.
Okay. So this is the Super XL. Very big. Basically, it's a canvas bag. Kind of, I mean, I don't want to compare it to anything, but if you had to, you know, those fringe supply bags that have been so popular, you have the canvas on the outside so you can put your pins and your buttons and patches, and
I think this might actually fit over my shoulders. Like, you can swallow a Megan.
I think so.
Okay, you keep talking.
Definitely could hold a Chaz or two.
Yeah.
I put it with some 2 liters. And a lot of people thought that was good perspective. But inside is our retreat logo and a cute little patch pattern.
And Megan's head.
Yeah. And pockets, and you can customize them if you need to. She's offering the Color Wars colors, red, blue, purple.
You use this like a laundry bag too. This is ginormous.
Yeah. It is big. But she's also selling it in a medium and large, as well as extra large, and this is
if your knitting
extra
needs
large.
Aren't.
Yeah. But again, as somebody who has a lot of whips, this has been holding my whips, you know, whether they're being loved on or not. So there's a big pile that goes with that.
And it that layer folds in if you want it to, or it cinches up. Fantastico. Ooh, I like that view too.
Yep. And then there have the knit stitches on that part of the fabric, and Another thing that my mom...
Oh, I am a big bag. It looks like lips.
Yeah, apparently we're really punchy when it's late.
Yeah, we've now turned into gremlins. It's after midnight. You fed me after midnight. I'm sorry.
But I had been meaning to tell everybody that these are available for pre-order, and there is a date of June 8th. Order them by June 8th if you want them delivered at the retreat.
Otherwise,
sure
you can Google it at the retreat, and then she would
make one later. Yeah, it's really it is really an interesting size bag. I mean, I was using it in my travels to Maryland Sheep and Wool. On the way there, it held everything great, and had plenty of room to open up and just kind of give myself a little work area down, here while I'm in the plane, and things could fall in there and not roll
as your
around.
one personal item.
Yeah, it did. It's like I had carry-on.
Yep.
But I checked my other bag, so I didn't feel bad.
Cool.
And this one fit under the seats. So, yeah. So those are available on Silvershed USA for pre-order for the retreat.
And I forgot to mention, I think last time I forgot to mention that they had broken, but I contacted
Signature
Needles about my ones that I magic loop with. The cord had disconnected at the join, and they got me out one like immediately.
Yeah.
Yep. So I've been using it. The poor previous ones probably had like, I don't know, 30 skews knit on them, right? I mean, like, it was like rapid fire skewing with those. So, yep, they stand behind their quality and their warranty, and I got replacements really quickly. I do feel like the cords may be a little longer. I need to get the other one out and see whether or not maybe I told them the cord length wrong. Maybe I measured from needle to needle rather than cable. I don't know. It just seemed a lot longer than it did the last one. But
I have no idea. But I had a similar situation, but mine had lasted a lot longer. And the replacement came very quickly.
Well, they are pricey needles, so I'm glad that they do replace them. I have a couple of Chigus that I have not contacted Chigu about, but I've heard that they do a pretty similar job as well of replacing them.
Yep. Yeah, I definitely thought about visiting them while I was out there to see about getting...
Sounds dangerous.
Yeah, it did. Yeah. And
especially if you're like in that, ooh, bye. Yeah, a couple of those, and yeah, you'd be over $100.
Yeah, I think so. But, yeah. That's it. Bye.
Bye, Rita.